to talk about. Tomorrow night's going to be great. I know one person who's going to be here by hook or by crook, and that is Grace. Really Graceful is going to be on again tomorrow. I think it's her first appearance in... No, it can't be. Because her book came out earlier on this year. I'm pretty sure that we talked about her book earlier on this year. I'm sure of it. That couldn't have been a late 2023 release. It couldn't have been. Has time really screwed up that much? Anyway, Grace will be on tomorrow. We're going to be talking something weird happening in the United States. A lot of somethings that are weird. We'll also go through the costume contests, the costumes that were submitted for the bulletin, and then a few other things. I want to get to a lot more of your ghost stories, and we'll do headlines all along the way. We're not going to lose track of the news. Don't worry. But we've got to find some games to play. We have to. Give them this little game. They need this little game, Jim. So there you have it. All right. The call in number tonight is 914-200-0269. And I can't wait to get around to that. I really can't. Because I'm going to lay a whole... I can't wait to tell you about what's going on. What happened at MSG yesterday. There was a lot to observe. And then when you hold that up in juxtaposition with... You juxtapose it with the media, which is really just that they are a laughingstock. Absolute laughingstock. And there were people there. There were people there that were taking it seriously. There was protesters there. They were dwarfed. Absolutely dwarfed by those who were showing up to have a good time and wanted to be inside and part of that fun, myself included. I'll tell you, when I got left out. I didn't get in. So anybody who ever says, "Oh, Frank," don't ever let anybody tell you that Frank's part of any kind of sphere of influence. Okay, I'll tell you all about it. So there's a lot of great things to discuss tonight, even though it is going to be a plan B. Anywho, let's go into the grab bag. First one up is from the New York Post. Tim Walz and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez play Madden on Twitch in an attempt to appeal to young male voters and slam Trump during the stream. That's exactly what people want to listen to when they... God. Oh, they're so disconnected. They are positively clueless. Positively clueless. First of all, is she pregnant? Or did the camera add 15 pounds to her face? What is this right here? Something's going on there. She might be pregnant. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. God forbid. No, she wouldn't do that. That would get too many people. If she procreated, that would get too many people upset. Because she complains about the climate so much. God, if she had a baby, the temperature of the world would go up 5 degrees. I think she knows that. She couldn't do it to us. Let's see here. In an effort to secure more support from male voters, Vice presidential candidate Governor Tim Walz and Birdbrain from New York played Madden NFL together on live streaming platform Twitch on Sunday. Sundays are for football. Game on, AOC, Walz wrote in a post on X. This is so bad. They did that. The pair jumped on the streaming service on Sunday afternoon during NFL Sunday games to discuss the upcoming election. Yes, I'm sure. This was really appealing. Massive amount of people probably watched, and none of them like football. Ocasio-Cortez opened the session by... Were they actually holding the... Does anybody know if they were holding the controllers, the console controllers? They agreed to play Madden because he used to be a football coach and he was familiar with the game, having played it with his children in the past. Walz joined on the stream. Yeah, but what about her? They wasted no time in throwing jabs at Donald Trump, who was packing out Madison Square Garden with many thousands of people outside. Many thousands. We're going to win this election. We're going to make you put a gavel in your hand in the House, Walz told Ocasio-Cortez. That is their plan. They want to make this bird brain. Oh, why not? Why not? There's nothing sacred. There's no sacred posts. There's nothing. There's no real responsibility. It's all high school popularity contest bullshit. It's nonsense. You don't need an IQ above lukewarm water. It's just nutty. But that's where we are right now. I didn't know that was part of it. So they want her to be the Speaker of the House. What happened to Hakeem Jeffries and his astonishingly high IQ? What happened to Hakeem Jeffries? What was that? I wonder what he thinks about this. He was being groomed. He was going to be the top dog soon. Oh, man. Anyway, I guess he wasn't jiggly enough. They needed somebody jiggly. They like having their Speakers of the House be as jiggly as possible. So that's why they went with her, I guess. What else are they playing? What is this? That's not Madden. Is that Crazy Taxi? Is that the old Crazy Taxi game? Am I nuts? Hold on a second. You guys have played this, right? Isn't this like a PlayStation 1 game? Isn't that Crazy Taxi or PlayStation 2? I don't know. I don't know what happened. But that's definitely not Madden. And I remember that screenshot looks very familiar to me. Damn, they are clueless. All right, let's move on from there. One thing they are not clueless about is how bad things are for them in the polls, which is probably why fires have been set to ballot boxes in places like Oregon and Washington State. And let's see here. Hundreds of ballots have already been lost. Hundreds of ballots were destroyed in separate fires at ballot drop boxes in Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, with officials urging affected voters to request replacements as investigations continue in potential arson. Yeah. What else does it have potential of being? Police said that they have identified a suspect vehicle in connection with incendiary devices that ignited fires in ballot drop boxes in Oregon and Washington State. It must have been real bad. I heard about this in Nevada, too, in Clark County, which I've also been hearing from people who know that Democrats are underwater there in places where they're usually kicking ass and all that. It's so bad. And that is the whole point of tonight. That's the whole point. The MSG thing, they knew it was going to be an absolute blow to everything. Because it's a gathering in the center of where they say it's impossible for there to be any kind of foothold other than theirs. Okay, it's like it's the garden, man. It's the Mecca. That's it. It's New York City. Republican, get the hell out of here. Let me tell you, man. It was serious. It was serious. And the opposition right now is flailing. It is flailing opposition. And I don't think like I was saying online yesterday at the while I was on 34th Street for a couple of hours. While I was online over there, it's not. I like making fun of Kamala Harris. I like poking fun at these people when they make public appearances and they're just out there. So why not, throw darts at them? But they're not consequential people. We always have to keep reminding ourselves of that. They're not consequential people. It doesn't really mean much with them. So when I say opposition, it's not them. But there are also a lot of people who are affected by the messaging of the brain trust out there, what's left of the media. And it really always comes down to that last fight scene in Gladiator between Maximus and Commodus on the sands of the Colosseum. And they get locked up. And forget about Maximus already being poisoned by Commodus. The whole point here is that it is Maximus's, it's his last go. This is Trump's last go. He knows this is his last election. He's just getting too old. And of course, if he wins, he's not going to be eligible for anything else. It's just that it's logically the last one. And at the other hand, so it's not a life and death situation for him, although it's been life and death, but you know what I mean. No, he hasn't been physically poisoned. And then you have Commodus, who is this flailing, weak, sniveling bitch that is just desperate for approval, desperate for any kind of affection from the public, wants to be liked, wants to be loved, is just so unlikable, though, and is just so inappropriate and out of sorts in every way. And is so jealous, too. and flailing. And at the end, when they get locked up, and Maximus is starting to turn that dagger in toward Commodus's throat. And what's Commodus doing? Throwing these weak little, you can't even call them haymakers, but he's just like punching Maximus's shoulder with his forearm. It's weak. It's just splashing against the armor of. It's ridiculous. That's what it feels like. Now, that I believe is the physical reality of things. No doubt about it. What we're going to be served up next week, I don't know. But it's definitely a different situation than 2020. Environmentally, it is. Atmospherically, it is a different situation. What has happened, what has changed state to state, I don't know. That might be negligible. You know, as far as bad laws being replaced with commonsensical laws, there is obviously we all know why there is the left is allergic to voter ID. There's only one reason why anybody would be. They want to be able to create a margin of chaos for all types of theft and nefarious operations. If you're out there, I know that we had a couple of people who were new to the show that found the stream yesterday while I was walking around in the street. Quite a few people who showed up that don't normally watch and don't necessarily disagree with us. A lot of Karens that needed some Klonopin. We were handing out Klonopin all day yesterday on the stream. It was wonderful. If you're here right now, you have to listen to me. If you showed up to just peek in, listen to me. Between you and I, you don't have to say it in the chat room, but you know, voter ID to you means less chance to cheat. You understand that. You can't truly believe that black and Hispanic Americans, American citizens who just happen to be black and Hispanic and all different colors, don't have identification and it would keep them from voting. You know that is ridiculous. And it's racist in its own right. It's ableist in its own right. You understand that you benefit from no voter ID because it means your party can go out there like the gangsters they are, the thieves in the night that they are, and cheat. That's it. It is the only thing. So I just wanted to say, I know it's obvious for everybody else, but for those of you who actually came back to peek in a curious way, I just wanted to talk to you for a second before we get on with our shit. So now that we're on with it, let's sing the national anthem. Who the hell is this? Singer Loomis. What is this? Loomis is the latest person to sing the national anthem and not have a good time doing it. I don't know who Loomis is, but this one goes out to the Harris campaign, and everybody thinks that it's a legitimate operation.
Through the perilous fights for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare. I fucked it up. Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
No, you can't.
Bombs bursting, and I got too nervous.
Yeah.
Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Yeah.
Whoa, say does that star spangled
Hey, do a couple more runs. Go ahead.
for the love
Or there. Or.
another free.
Oh, you nailed it.
And the home of the brave.
Good job. My stomach is fine now. My stomach is fine. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
But yes, they are, and I guess I don't know why they're not looking at it, but that sucks. Yes, I see that P Quest says it. Oh, fuck! Oh! I can't believe that just happened. Oh! Honey, I need a towel.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rip.
But Saturday was nice. Went to a costume party. Had a party with our family and friends. A lot of fun stuff going on over there. And then Sunday was the Madison Square Garden get-together. And now I was told, I wasn't going to be able to get there and camp out. I wasn't going to be able to get there at 9:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I know a lot of people did, and they definitely got in for that. But Dilly was very nice in getting me a special pass, a special guest pass. So I was put on a list. I got all the stuff that came in, and they said, be online. We're going to start letting people in at 12. So I tried to get there as long before 12 as I could, but I couldn't. I couldn't get before. In fact, I found the end of the line at 12:03. Either way, I found the right line. The line management was awful. Inside, it seems like everything was going off without a hitch. Especially this, it was terrible. It really was bad. So I was out there for 4.5 hours, and let me tell you something. I got all the way in. I guess just to say some general things. As I said on Twitter, there were so many thousands there in overflow, and I ended up being in overflow. I did not get in. But it was so many locals. I'm talking to people around me, some on air, but a lot of off air, just talking, listening to people. Most people from New York, Long Island, I'm sure that people traveled in from all over the place just to want to be a part of that. That's a huge planting your flag. That's a huge place to plant your flag, especially if you're somebody in Donald Trump's position in New York City, where it's supposed to be completely out of play. The entire state, it's out of play. Don't even try it. Well, obviously, there's a lot going on behind the scenes that are showing people that certain things are not as steady as they once seemed. And you want to talk about diversity. It was New Yorkers of every stripe, every demographic. I hate talking about demographics and skin and all that other shit. But, you tend to notice this stuff. You want to take note of these things as you show up for your first Nazi rally. That was my first Nazi rally. I had to take note of things. It was awesome. I wish I could have gotten inside to really be in that energy. But outside, it was fantastic. It really was. And at least I got to do a few hours of streaming. That was nice. I think it came out to about 2 hours of streaming, I think. But the locals were great, and it's electric to feel that in Manhattan because it feels so foreign. Now, the opposite of that, the opposition to that, the left, they bring this sickly kind of energy. There's a sickly energy that they bring, even though they brand themselves as joyful. And what eventually happened to me was I made my way. We're going down 34th Street, kind of across 8th Avenue. And finally, we're getting across. Now, on 8th Avenue is where you can start seeing some of the protests. They're loud. There's Nazi stuff all over the place, and people are just being idiots. But it was such a small contingent of people. And this is where I thought, okay, we're about to get in. Well, once I turned the corner onto 8th, it's just a huddled mass of people who are just trying to get into this. It's a bottleneck. The line just disintegrates, and there's nobody there organizing anything. So it's well organized going all the way down, but there's no volunteers, nothing there. And at this point, everybody is just pressing. Some people are getting left back. People you're walking with for 2.5 hours already. There are suddenly a couple of, 24 yards behind you. I finally get in around I don't know what it was, about 4:15. I get my guest pass. I get up to the Secret Service, and I'm standing right there. I am the next in line to be admitted into the arena. It's me, and then it's the metal detector, and then it's all of the Secret Service people. And suddenly everything stops. Seriously, it's me and the metal detector, okay? and this is what, about 10 minutes go by. I take a seat on this, this cab right next to me. I sit next to it. Not a taxi, just like almost like a PA cab where you would put something inside of it, a trunk there. I'm sitting there, and finally I ask, hey, what's going on here? Well, we don't know just yet. Hold on. And that's when I overhear Secret Service talking to somebody from the venue about the fire marshal having just officially made the declaration that the building was at capacity. Listen, once the fire marshal says the building's at capacity, I was officially the straw that would have broken the camel's back. They would not have, nobody was like, so having heard that, I decided to just get the hell out. Quietly, say nothing, and just bail. Because then I didn't want to get caught in the exiting crowd and all that stuff. And it just really sucked. It sucked. Because it was about 4:20 or so, and all the big names were going to be coming up in a little while. It wasn't too long before I was in my car and on the West Side Highway coming back home, listening to the stream. And I was able to hear at least Stefanik and Vivek and all the other people, RFK, everybody from there on in. I heard that, but still, there was a lot to be said about that day. And hanging out with you guys was really awesome too. I also got this. Now, when I saw that street vendor, hold on, where is he? I had it up over here in case I wanted to throw it up on the screen. Here he is. This is from yesterday. This is the street vendor with the. Hold on. There he is. This is "You Missed Me, Bitch" or something like that. You miss bitched.
I say it's about 80, 90. You know how we was like, oh, man.
80, 90.
Yeah.
80, 90. We're going that way.
Yeah, everybody's at least dumping bars.
So this is the one I'm giving you guys tonight. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do an old fashioned. I bought this for $20 right there on the stream. I'm gonna do an old fashioned call-in show, call-in contest, not a super chat contest, a call-in contest. I have the line open, 914-200-0269. I'm going to try my best, because I don't have an intern here, I'm going to take calls as they come in, but I'm also going to try to take count of all the calls in between the calls that are missed. And all that is going to be counted up. And the 45th, here's what we're going to do. The 45th caller, not the 45th person that I bring onto the air. I could take one person, a couple of calls. Hello, caller, you're number 5. The next one that calls in might be number 12, whatever. The 45th one is going to get this hat, this little spooky ghost hat that we got at CVS. Thought it'd be good to give away. But the 47th caller, I'm going to get nice and whatever. Old radio tonight. I've got this one that I bought from the street vendor yesterday. I haven't even washed it. It's straight from the streets of New York into your house. I'm not going to wash it. I'm going to leave it to you to wash it. Okay? There's no weird stains on it. It's a large. And I'm also going to give you my special guest pass. Because obviously it wasn't that special. And neither am I. So if anybody ever tells you they come up with some kind of a conspiracy theory that I'm part of some sphere of influence, just let them know. I was the runt of the litter who the first one to get rejected. Before everybody else, the tens of thousands outside in the street were told you're not getting in. You have to just watch it from the street. I don't even know where the hell everybody was watching it. Because at that point I said, 4:15, I can get to my car in 10 minutes. I could be home in less than an hour, and I could still have dinner with Lauren and Aurora. And it turned out being a really comfy, cozy night because I did get home in time. And it was just me, Lauren, Aurora, my brother, his girlfriend, my mother's by, and we ended up just watching the speeches together. And that was nice. So it worked out. As long as I got down there, I told myself on the way down there, because there was already some doubt in my mind if I was going to get in, but I said, well, listen, these special guest passes have to be good for something. But when I saw how badly that was mismanaged, I said, no matter what, get down there and do a stream. and it worked out nice. So I want to talk about it today, and in a little bit we're going to open up the lines, and I hope that we'll definitely get a winner out of you guys. We'll definitely get a winner out of you guys in a little bit. Firstly, let's go to the Vigilant Fox. Here's some of the highlights. Unforgettable scenes unfold at historic Trump rally. Not only was the night filled with surprising guests, but Trump teased that he has a little secret that's going to have a big impact. I don't know what the hell that secret was. But anyway, this guy, who's this guy? Again, the comedian. What is his name? Hillary Clinton warned that Trump's event tonight would be a reenactment of the 1939 rally, a Nazi rally in Madison Square Garden. Well, Tony Hinchcliffe, hope that's how I'm saying it, how he say his name. He had a good time with this one. I think that a lot of people came after him because of other jokes. He went after everybody, which I thought was great. Poked fun at everybody. Jews, Arabs, black people, Puerto Ricans. It's just, he's a comedian. But of course, the left is joyless, which is why they got so mad. And they said, this comedian alone lost Donald Trump the election, said all of the Krasensteins as they were swapping out their butt plugs. This comedian alone lost him the election. It's so vile. Let's listen to it for a little bit. Let's get vile together.
I don't know about you guys, but I think that Travis Kelce might be the next O.J. Simpson.
Oh, boy.
Feels good in here. The other side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh.
Which is exactly what it is, to be honest.
Oh, okay. Hillary Clinton said that this is a Nazi rally here today. Can you believe that? For the most anti-war president of my entire lifetime, and she calls him Hitler. Let me remind you, Hillary, it was your husband who shot innocent people, or as he called them, interns. Yeah, Hillary, I bet you did not see that one coming. By the way, if I commit suicide in 3 weeks, I didn't. I mean, it's just obvious to me who the right candidate is. There's a guy out here dodging bullets. It is unbelievable, right?
Yeah, no, it is nasty. It's just it's just incredible. And now, and the real nastiness was outside. It was just nuts. You know, I'll tell you the protester mentality. Because until people just show up in your face and they say, oh, look at all these traitors and look at all the blah, 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 blah. Until something like that happens, nobody cares and everybody's really, really cool. But the protester mentality that you see with the left in particular, and this really is reflected in the way that they act on Reddit and stuff like that, it's taken straight out of the comment sections and you put it into the streets. It's literally, the behavior becomes the comment section translating into the streets. It becomes two parts. Or actually, I would say there's a fork in the road and there's two types of people that you see. And it, for the most part, it is like brooding, ranting, schizophrenic, homeless behavior. That's exactly what you get from the left. They are always brooding and schizophrenic and mumbling to themselves, and they're always bubbling and seething and frothing over. It's incredible. And these are usually very physically unimpressive, cognitively unexceptional people. They're creatures that you'll know if you ever encounter them, because it's almost as if you fell inside of like the cage at one of the zoos and you came too close to one of the animals. The extroverted ones, on the other hand, they just mumble and they rant constantly. As much as you'd like to, as much as you like to put them in their place, there's no place to put them. That's the whole thing here. You can't talk to them. Just like when I was brought, I remember the earliest times in my life going to New York City and being taught how to deal with the homeless people, especially the mentally ill homeless people who are dancing around with garland around their head, screaming that they were Jesus. And you just have to look straight ahead, keep an idea of where they are in proximity to you, but just pay them no mind and keep going, because there's nothing to talk to. There's nothing there. Same thing goes with these protesters. You'd like to put so many of them in their place, but there's no place to put them. You got to block it out. And then the introverts, those are the extroverts of them. The introverts, they just stew in silence, and then they go home and they unleash on Reddit. That's where you see a lot of them. That's where they feel the most power and the most validation and all that stuff. And then there you have it. That's really it. Inside, it looked perfectly pleasant, just very nice indeed. And you have to see all this. Worst Nazi rally ever. This is from from Zero Hedge. When Donald Trump's campaign announced plans for a rally at Madison Square Garden, Democrats and their media allies knew they had a problem, and no doubt they did. Trump was going to pack the house on their turf, so they wasted no time in pushing the tired Hitler narrative and claimed that the choice of venue was an homage to pro-Nazi rallies that was held there in the late 1930s. One Nazi rally in 1939. Listen to this. Incredible. Incredible that this was approved to go live on MSNBC, but they are a laughingstock, and they know that less and less people take them seriously. It is evident by the makeup of the crowds, guys. It's evident by the makeup of the crowds. You've got to see it for yourself. There are people who are still trapped by this kind of programming, by this kind of messaging, that they would never look over that fence. They think that every person who isn't some waspy white person, waspy white conservative, is just there like under a spell or something like that. It's incredible. But if they were getting through to people, they wouldn't have to resort to this. This is 1 minute and 10 seconds that actually was approved for air at MSNBC.
But that jamboree happening right now, you see it there on your screen, in that place is particularly chilling because in 1939, more than 20,000 supporters of a different fascist leader, Adolf Hitler, packed the garden for a so-called pro-America rally. A rally where speakers voiced anti-Semitic rhetoric from a stage draped with Nazi banners. When a Jewish protester rushed the stage, the Associated Press reported, quote, instantly, a dozen or more stormtroopers set upon him, knocking him down and beating him as he held his head in his arms. Most of his clothing was torn from his body. Later, he was booked for disorderly conduct.
I'm going to go back to the last 40 seconds of this, or 10 seconds of this, whatever the hell it is. But again, laughingstock. They're reading news from 1939 as if it were happening today. It's one thing to make comparisons that are just, miss me with that bullshit. But it's another thing to go back to 1939 to take reporting from an event and to say it today as if it is necessary. It's necessary to report on 2024. They're reporting on 2024 with an excerpt from 1939. This made it to air. I don't know what it is. It's been a long time since it's been news, if it ever was news. But what the hell is this? I don't know. That's just incredible. That's incredible. But it's desperation. It stinks. Oh, man, that stinks. Another fascist leader. Go ahead, define fascism. Define fascism.
Now, against that backdrop of history, Donald Trump, the man who has threatened to use the military against opponents he calls enemies from within, who has threatened to use the troops to quell what he says are lawless cities, and to use those troops to carry out mass deportations of immigrants, is once again turning Madison Square Garden into a staging ground for extremism.
Thank you, Mr. Goebbels. Thank you. You are Joseph Goebbels. You are Goebbels. Be very proud. That last 15 seconds, incredible. To quell cities. Yes. Yeah, to quell disrupt. I mean, you think about the disruption that they're causing that they want to actually keep in place. They think it's good. You think about the invasion that is being fostered right now. They refuse to characterize as anything other than immigration. These are immigrants. They're just like your great-grandparents coming through Ellis Island with the kerchiefs around the grandma's head. They had nothing but a bag of figs and $10 in their pockets, and they just get the hell out of here with that. Get the hell out of here with that. And let me tell you something else. Jews all over the place. One hell of a Nazi rally. Jews all over. There were, and I don't know what this was all about. Young Orthodox Jewish men all over the place, bobbing and weaving through the crowds, asking people if they were Jewish. I actually became suspicious of what kind of an operation they might have been running after a while. Okay? I was asked if I was Jewish twice by the same guy. He didn't even recognize me. He's just asking everybody, like, what if I had said yes? Like, I should have said yes the second time just to see what he was going to say next. What the hell was that all about? Anyway, then I walked back to the car because I couldn't get in. And dear Lord, what a Nazi rally. Do you know of any Nazi rally in which a conga line of speakers go up there falling over themselves to pledge allegiance to Israel? Have you ever seen anything like that before? Heard of anything like that before? Most precious ally this, most precious ally that. It was a very strange Nazi rally indeed. Anyway, this was a very, very embarrassing day for them. It doesn't matter what the hell they say, and they have been trying to screech and scream so badly. What's this? These are some of them. That's not the guy that's talking to me. Brock Turner, Jews for Trump have arrived at Madison Square Garden. Are they calling it a Nazi rally? Yeah, that was not where I was, but still. I don't know what the hell was going on. Anywho, one of the things I wanted to ask, I wanted to throw out there to Roger Stone tonight, it was actually about the whole idea of revenge. That whole idea of revenge, because it's a serious thing. We all understand the projection. We understand the projection of what is being put out there by people in the media. We know what they have been party to this entire time. We know exactly what's going on with that and every other scam that they have run. But what I don't really get here is, with Law and Order, Mockingbirds are always ironically projecting that Trump is going to weaponize the justice system against political opponents, one thing or another. But in actuality, and even as recently as that appearance with Joe Rogan, which you can call in later on and tell me what you think about that, in as recently as that Joe Rogan appearance, he bragged several times about having the opportunity to put someone like Hillary Clinton in jail, but protecting them, declining to do so for the sake of some form of decency and restraint that they do not possess. They don't possess that decency and restraint. You know? Sal Greco, Roger Stone, Steve Bannon gets out of jail tomorrow. He's been there for like 3 months. Trump himself, I mean, they are all examples of how they will never, the left, the uniparty, the deep state, will never hesitate to make an example out of innocent people. Meanwhile, they're getting passes for sedition, for espionage, and worse. Worse. So my question to you guys, and if I ever get a chance to talk to Roger Stone, would have been, how do we regain faith in the system when this is left unaddressed? Now the media, MSNBC and everybody else will call it political persecution and all that stuff, and they're insane. They're psychopaths, they're criminals, they're seditionists, and worse. We understand what game they're playing, but we have to be honest with each other. And when you hear Donald Trump say, you know, I had an opportunity. I could have put Hillary in jail, but what the optics of putting a former first lady in jail, what would that have meant? I don't know. I don't look at her as a former first lady. I look at her as a criminal that violated the Espionage Act to such a degree that even if it is gross negligence, she should be in jail for at least life. But we know it was not negligence. We know it was part of an actual at-home business. So that's a very serious question. These are questions I'd love to bring up, and one day I will be able to bring them up. I've got great questions to ask people. I really do. Now, if I get them to sit down with me, that's something else. But, you know, I'm only a special guest. It doesn't mean I'm going to get the interview. All right, let's take a quick break a little bit early because I'm going to come back. I'm going to turn on the phone lines, and I want you guys to start calling on in. And we'll see who's going to win all this stuff tonight. I'll send it out to you, and God bless on that. And there's so much more that we can talk about, and we'll see how far we take this. Maybe we'll get to 9. Maybe we get to a little bit past 8:30, but making the best of it. And tomorrow night is going to be a real banger, so I can't wait. Don't go anywhere. We shall be right back.
the like button.
Entering, quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly, guys.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
So everybody watch. Quite frankly. With Frank.
How dare you?
Okay, welcome back. Yes, making up the time. All right, we've been taking calls. The lines are open. Here you go. The line is up. It's been open. Had a few already squiggle through, so we're up. We're up there. We're getting there in calls. Let's just take one for right now. 573, you are on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Frank. It's Nervous Annie.
Nervous Annie?
Yeah, I got a good one for you tonight.
Okay, please give it to me. And by the way...
I'm not as nervous. So,
okay, good.
So I've been dating this guy for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not from the state, right? I'm from another state. And so anyway, he lived by himself, la, la, la. So anyways, we went all through COVID, and he fell for, like, everything. Like, he got all his boosters and all his stuff. And I'm like, oh, my God. So I stuck with him because I feel bad. I feel like God put me on a mission to save this man, right? And so, anyway, and he's still asleep. Like, he is still asleep. I think he's kind of waking up because I kind of push back when he says stuff. Because usually I don't say anything. Like, I'm very neutral. I don't say stuff. I don't, show him. So anyway, stuff. And because he's just deranged a little bit. So anyway, when it comes to Trump and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, he hasn't done that a lot of people have is he's not on the internet at all. Like, he reads only the headlines.
Okay.
And he doesn't research anything. So it's a really weird experience. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird to me. Like,
Yeah.
I can't even almost have a conversation with him at this point because it's very difficult. You know?
So what do you want me to tell you?
Nothing. I think it's just really weird that someone that doesn't have any internet access. Like, he has access, but I just think it's weird. Like, but he's completely asleep, and where a lot of these other people were all.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a very you're describing it pretty. Yeah, that's. I don't
think there's a lot of people like that.
I don't know, but I mean, this is a person that this is your person. So
I know it's really kind of anyway.
Well, I think that there's a lot.
I just thought it was kind of weird. Like, we've gone through all this stuff, and I'm like, I've been trying to help him,
No. That's why, Annie, and thank you for the call. By the way, Annie, you were the 11th caller. Thank you so much. We're already getting there. Annie says she doesn't understand the meme, the I can fix her meme, or I can fix him. There's a reason why that's a meme, because you can never fix a person. It's just what it is. If you've been with somebody for 10 years already and they're at a point where they don't have internet access for one thing or another, but at the same time they also are blindly obedient or triggered by certain things, I don't know, and you're going out and getting all your boosters and I don't know. Well, that's very saint-like. There's a lot of people on this show said they wouldn't. They were afraid of the shedding too much. Okay, let's take another. Hold on, let's see. Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close. 805, you're on the air. You are caller 17, though.
Damn it. Okay, I'll keep trying.
No, don't you want to say something?
Oh, no, man. I just think the show's amazing. It's like the first time I've called in, and yeah, that's a bummer that you didn't get to make it past the metal detectors, huh?
Dude, I was staring at the metal detectors. I had everything in my hand. All I had was my wallet and this pass and my sunglasses and my phone. I'm standing there like, all right, let's get this show on the road. And then all of a sudden, it was just they turned off the spigot and everything just stopped. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell could possibly be happening right now? And that's what I heard. Oh, yeah, the fire marshal said we're at capacity. I said, oh, well, that's it. I was literally the straw that would have broken the camel's back.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Sorry to hear that. I probably would have done the same thing, man. As soon as I knew that I wasn't getting in, I would have been like trying to get out of there, beat the traffic, and everybody else,
It was fine. It was fine. I can brush things like that off pretty easily because I made a shot. I made it. It was a constructive day. Yeah, it was tiring just standing around the good thing for me, my friend, is that I knew what kind of a day it might have been, and I dehydrated myself, which is not good. But I knew that there's probably going to be nowhere to go to the bathroom. So I had some breakfast with Lauren and Aurora around 8:30, 9 o'clock or something like that. And even there, I didn't have any coffee. I didn't have anything because I just wanted to see what I was going to need to do. And thank God I did that because it would have been over. Anyway, thank you for the call. Hopefully you get back in.
Yeah, I love the show, man. Love the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Take care. Okay, who's that? That was number. Okay, good. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Let's just see what the hell's going on out there. Over on Rumble, people are hanging out, having their good time. I have this on, quite frankly, superchat.com. Quite frankly, superchat.com. Send super chats if you want to have them read on air. YouTube is demonetized. You're going to have to send it to the universal one I set up. Jay Britt says, hey, Frank, enjoyed the perspective on the streets at Madison Square Garden yesterday. Sorry you didn't get in. The stream was great, though. I'm all in for the shirt if you don't get the 47th call. Oh, the calls are coming in tonight. Oh, wait a second. Is that Adel Nero? Tried calling in? I'm seeing a lot of people call right now. What the hell? I'm getting destroyed. Here we go. Okay. Lisa, you're on the air.
I'm right.
Lisa, I'm sorry, but you're number 26.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. But is there anything you want to say to everybody out there?
Quite frankly, the best show in town.
Quite frankly, the best show in town. Thank you. So, Lisa, were you watching the stream at all yesterday?
I did. I watched all of them afterwards. That's when I actually caught you. And I'm from Las Vegas. I thought for sure I was going to win that T-shirt.
Oh, I know. Well, you know what? Who knows? We're halfway through. It's moving through quickly. It actually might be moving through too quickly for Zoom to process the calls. I hope that I'm not missing any, but we'll get there in a little bit. Thank you so much for the call, my friend.
Have a good night.
All right, take care. You know what? I'm going to call back Adel to see what the hell he wanted. Hold on.
Sorry, you have exceeded the maximum allowed number of concurrent calls.
Oh, I'm getting blitzed. Adel, I'm trying, but I'm getting destroyed right now. All right, let's see. 1, 2, 3. And here we go. 3, 2, 1. You are on the air. You are also caller number 34.
Oh, so close.
Yes, but who is this?
Hey, it's Patrick.
Jeez,
if I
Patrick.
got 47, I would have donated the shirt to you. Just hanging up at Studio One.
Okay, well, you know what? Then I raffle it off again. I really want somebody else to have it. That's all. Or you could have passed it along.
Did you go to the rally with Matt?
Matt was supposed to come with me. I thought he was at work. And
you and your VIP pass.
Yeah,
that was it.
We had it.
You can get it with your first Nazi rally.
I know, it was nice. I had a VIP pass to my first Nazi rally. Not everybody can say that.
Hang on to that. Hey, the one thing I just want to say is about Trump. I think, and he's talking about this constantly, kind of about his legacy, is to fix the election system. And if he doesn't do that, right after we win, somehow, some weird way, or it takes him 4 years. If he doesn't do it, I think he really kind of let us down for that. But he knows he will do that. And the other thing is, I think private ballots is a fucking inversion, because the only ones that are private are us and our family and people we know. But the whole world, this mechanism knows what we voted for, and they cheat on that, knowing who we voted for. So we got to take that away.
Hey,
privacy.
Listen,
if you can't stand up for who you voted for, don't fucking vote.
Well, hey, I appreciate the call, Patrick. Patrick's the one, somebody who should go to Las Vegas a little bit more often. He always gets through. That's why technology is a great thing, and it's made life very interesting, and has brought us many creature comforts, a lot of conveniences, and it has helped us destroy monopolies on some very important things, including the media. Okay? But we do not need new technology when it comes to voting. We need to stay Stone Age when it comes to voting. Paper. There you have it. Paper and an ID. You know, the computers and all that stuff. And nope, not really looking into that. It doesn't pose any. Let me see here. And here, okay, 732. You are on the air, and you're caller.
Yo, did I really make it?
You're caller number 39, my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I got into MSG yesterday.
You did?
Yeah, totally. I beat you by a couple of hours, man. I got there at like noon.
Okay. You want to hear this shit?
And then
listen to this. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there at the at the Secret Service station. I'm right there at the metal detector. This is when everything had paused.
Dude, you were so close.
Dude, I could not have been. If I was any closer, I'd be inside. Literally.
I know.
But
you couldn't even just like, because they turn their backs a lot because they were like splitting the line between metal detectors. And like, I was just a couple times like, man, you could just like skate in there.
Oh, no.
But
not me.
Yeah.
Not where I was.
No, but they stopped everyone up, though. They were dumping everyone's bags, water, anything. You had to go in with, like, nothing, just your keys, your wallet, and your phone, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, there was a graveyard. There's a graveyard of vapes right next to me. There's a whole...
everything.
Yeah.
Anything that looked like could have been, like, like some kind of weapon or weaponized. But, inside was amazing. People were so cool, all walks of life, Black, white, Latino, Jewish, and everyone was just talking to each other and having a great time. It was unreal.
And I'm glad that you got to see that because and obviously because you were outside and inside. But outside, man, I'll tell you, it was there for anybody who wanted to see. It was reflected.
Outside was cool, too. It was just like, it wasn't even just a clean-up version. It was just the people that got in because they got there a couple hours early. It was all the same people, and people were so excited to be in there. It was electric.
Yeah. It looked fantastic, and it came through in the car as I was driving home. But you got to bask in it firsthand. Good for you, my friend.
Yeah. Well, I just want to call and tell you not to. I wish you got in, but I'll let the next caller go. Thanks, man.
It's all right. Thank you, my friend. That's Thomas that called in. A little quick on that because now I've lost count. But whatever. This goes toward the line management. I'm sitting there. Everything had stopped. There are two chicks behind me. They seem to be in their mid to late 30s, early 40s at the latest, whatever. And I'm sitting there, and everybody just starts kind of talking to each other a little bit and, wondering what the hell's going on. And I take a load off. I sit down on that trunk, like I said, and everybody's just chatting it up. So they're wondering out loud, the two girls next to me, what's happening. And I said, I don't know. I said, I've been sitting on, I've been walking slowly over here since 12 o'clock. At this time, it's like 4:15. It's like 4 hours or so online. And the chick next to me, behind me, said, damn, you've been here since 12? We just got here at 3. I wanted to leap on her like a jungle cat. I wanted to leap on top of her like a jungle cat. I said, 3. She goes, yeah. She goes, wow. Then she added insult to injury. She said, I woke up at 12. So there's no way she should have been right there. There's no way she should have been right there next to me if she got there at 3. That's why I'm telling you how badly managed it was. The line was. It seemed like it was a flawless production inside, but I should have been in that building somehow. The fact that they were standing right behind me and I had put 4 hours in on that line and she didn't even wake up until I arrived at the back of the line. Not even arrived at the parking garage. That was I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. No, I was not in the wrong line. I see some people saying that, but there are plenty of people who were. There are plenty of people who were in front of me that were all hyped up and they were excited, and they needed to be on the general line on 6th Ave. And they were told by staffers, you're not getting in, I promise you. You're on the wrong line. And a lot of people had already put in about 2.5, almost 3 hours online at that point, and they were told they had to start all over on the other side. So I was exactly where I had to be. But there got to a point where the line disintegrated and there was no more form. And it wasn't even like, oh, well, then wiggle your way up there. It was then bottlenecked. You couldn't. It was messed up. Those girls were just like insult to injury. Okay, let's see here. Let me see. Where do we leave off? 39. Let me see where it was. Caller? Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Floor.
Floor?
Yes, Floor.
Well, Floor, where are you from?
Southern California.
Okay, so you weren't one of the girls that was standing behind me yesterday online, were you?
Maybe.
Oh boy. Well, listen. Here's what I have for you, Floor. I have some news. You are not the 47th, but you are the 45th.
I'm the 40th?
You know, you're the 45th. That means that you get the orange hat with the ghost on it.
Woo!
Okay. Good for you, Floor. Here's what you got to do. You got to email me.
Okay.
Just email me and make the subject matter something and whatever, and it's so I see it, and then I'll get an address from you, and I'll send that out, and I'll send you stickers and stuff like that too.
Oh my god!
Hopefully, it gets there for you by Halloween, because it's a nice Halloween hat. You could wear it on Thursday.
I can't believe I got through. I called literally. Hold on. 148 times, not including the 12 times I called before.
Whoa. This is like a real radio call-in contest. We actually did it. That's what people do when they used to call in K-Rock to get concert tickets. Well, listen, I'm glad.
I'm like super happy. Is your email linked on YouTube?
Yeah, quite frankly, podcast@gmail.com. Just send me an email and I'll find some way to make sure it's you, and we'll get this to you quick.
Okay, thank you. Oh my god, I love your show.
Well, yeah.
I tune in like almost every day. Not every day, but almost. I just want to say shout out to Matt, but I love you, and then big shout out to Aurora as well.
Okay, well, thank you so much. If that's all you got, then it was wonderful meeting you, Floor.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. I wish Matt were there yesterday. If I had waited for Matt to get to my place for us to go, I mean, hey, I didn't get in anyway. So I guess we would have still been able to stream and whatever, but it wouldn't have been the same event. I was meant to be there when I was, and we'll see what else happens. All right, so that was number 45. Now we're just going to see who pops up. I'm doing this all on my own, ladies and gentlemen. 347, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frankie, how's it going?
I'm good.
This is Scott from Staten Island.
Is Scott from where?
Staten Island.
Scott from Staten Island. Guess what? You're number 47.
Oh, get out of here! You serious?
Yes, you're number 47, Scott. Now I'm counting the best I can. I know that from 45, there've probably been 10 other calls that came in, but they were not on with me at the same time. So I'm just trying to estimate here. Scott, you're number 47. You give me an email later on, and I'll figure this out for you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. How do I get you my email?
Oh, well, here, email me at quitefranklypodcast@gmail.com and say, something about, I don't know, just say something very flowery in the subject line. I'll get you. And you're going to get the Missed Bitches Street Merchant t-shirt, and you're also going to get my special guest pass. So you can have that for your collection over there.
All right. Thank you so much, Frank. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Is there anything else you want to say, Scott?
No, that's it.
All right. Have a good one.
Long-time listener. Love the show. Great show. Unbelievable.
Well,
Keep doing what you're doing, Frank.
I'm just glad that we're getting a lot more calls. The one thing I'll say, Scott, and thanks again for the call, and I want to start taking people's calls, and I'll just, we'll see. I'm going to have more things to just give you guys. I'm just going to do that. Going to buy little knickknacks all over the place. I realized we weren't getting bussed in yesterday. People were not getting bussed into New York City to go and make it seem like Donald Trump had something going for him at Madison Square Garden. It was all very real, and it was mostly locals. New Yorkers. These are people who we were told do not exist, at least not in these parts. It was real. It was very real. And I realized to myself, what the hell? I said, like 95% of my listenership comes from outside the state of New York. How the hell do I reach New Yorkers? I mean, these are my people over here. I don't know. Adel, what's going on, man?
Not too much, Frank. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm just chilling. I'm glad you got through. So what's on your mind?
Not much. I just heard your story about waiting in line and being like the last person not to get in. I just had to call and say I'm so sorry to hear it, man. I had to be incredibly frustrated.
Well, I'll tell you, I wasn't. I mean, I only was just like, damn, that was a lot of stress on my lower back because I was wearing these flat-soled shoes. I should have wore better sneakers or something like that. I was just like, damn, that's a lot of standing. But at the same time, I started thinking, I mean, I'm fine. I'm let me just go home. I'm going to go home and eat. And that was my little thing that kept me nice and sane. But have you been to any rallies, Adel, in all your time out there?
Just the one on January 6th in DC. So that's the only one. That was like the energy there was insane. So I'm guessing it was probably very similar in Madison Square Garden or Manhattan. I can only imagine what it was like in line.
Yeah, well, it was nice. It was nice, man. Like I said, I love people watching as it is, and being out there and just being able to observe people and watch them interact with each other and just kind of see, just try to, I don't know. It was a lot of fun, and I really I get a lot out of it, stuff like that. On Thursday, no, I'm sorry, next Tuesday for election night, we got to figure out exactly what we're doing. But I'm really excited to have you and Adel stop by at some point. You and Zach stop by at some point. I know that you guys are having your own streams. We got to figure out a simulcast solution so that you don't have to interrupt your stream, and we can all just keep, kind of trick or treat with each other and stop in on each other's broadcasts.
Yeah, no, that'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, we'll figure it out. So I could either just pop on yours. I'm gonna have a bunch of people like co-hosting with me. So if I have to step away just to jump on yours while Zach's there, I could do that, or we could figure out a simulcast. But either way, we'll definitely figure out a way to share the airwaves together for a little while.
Okay,
on Tuesday, that'll be a blast.
So then, tell me this: how you feeling right now? 8 days out, everything on the table. How you feeling 8 days out? What does your heart tell you? What does your mind tell you?
So, I mean, my heart looks at the polling, the early voting, just the overall momentum. Just the vibes are very high, and everything seems like it's right where you would want it to be. My mind is like, okay, I felt this way in 2020 as well. And then, the other shoe dropped and they stopped counting votes and all hell broke loose. So I hold my breath waiting to see, what lever they're going to pull to derail what's happening right now, because they don't ever just roll over, Frank. They always have something up their sleeve, something we don't often see coming. So I'm a little terrified as like, okay, how are they going to slow down this massive momentum?
You're mirroring a lot of the thoughts that people online were telling me. I got at least one guy to tell me that, very bluntly and off the bat, I don't know, maybe within the first 10, 15 minutes of being live online, but even when the cameras are off and I'm just carousing with people, I asked them the same question. Hey, so what are you feeling? Without hesitation, some would say, well, they're going to cheat. And it's really just a matter of whether or not it's going to be surmountable. And
unfortunately, Frank, I don't even think it's going to be cheating. I think it's going to be something like more catastrophic that could derail the whole process rather than try to like mess with the results. I don't know if there's enough. I've been listening to Rich Barris a lot, and what he's been saying is they don't have enough votes out requested as far as mail-in ballots to do what they did last time. There's just not enough on the registrations to make it even a little bit believable this time around. And with the improvement in Trump's popularity, like too big to rig seems like is what's happening. So what's the next step? You know, beyond just stuffing the ballot box, what other levers can they pull to maintain power? And that's a scary thing, because you're getting into much worse things than voter fraud at that point.
You're talking about true acts of war.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't put anything past them. You know, we're dealing with a cabal of absolute psychopaths right now. So, and they're on like their last legs. But
you probably have a lot of people out there who are considering the same things. Like there's no situation where anybody should feel comfortable. That's the whole thing. It's not a comfortable situation to be in, regardless of how you can take account of what is being shown in real life and where people are and what they're doing. It's no doubt going to be a very, very uncomfortable week and a half. And it's just good to have friends, and it's also good to see more and more people out there. You know, it's all about Overton window, Adel, and I thank you for the little bit of a segue. I want to do this in a second. I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right?
Can I make a quick announcement real fast, right?
Please do so.
So I just found this out like 20 minutes ago. Very excited about it. Tomorrow on my show, which starts at 4 p.m., I'm having Kash Patel on for about a 20-minute segment.
That's a great get, man.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about it. So I just found out. I couldn't even announce it on my own show because we were already done today. So I appreciate you giving me a minute to just kind of let your audience know, because I know we have a big crossover. A lot of people that watch me also watch you. So just anybody out there, 412 Productions on Pilled, Rumble. I'm at 412anon87 on Twitter. He'll be on the first half of the show, so it'll be available on all platforms.
Dude, all you need to have is 2 or 3 very good questions. He's one of those perfect guest scenarios, talks up a storm, and he is a great speaker. So that's great. I've been able to interview him a couple of times with Tracy on Dark to Light, and that was always a good time. Well, plus he's a New Yorker, so you'll be able to talk trash Northeast, some Northeastern trash with him, and he'll be able to hang. So there you have it.
Love it. All right, Frank, I'll let you go, man. Thanks for having me on.
Take care. Thank you so much. All right.
Later.
There goes Adel Nero. Thank you, Adel. Did you see Mika Brzezinski tearing up on The View, crying like an idiot because things went too well in New York? Listen to this. Hold on. What's this, an ad? Oh gosh, never mind. Making me listen to an ad. Skip ad. You got to listen to this.
I think you heard us before you came out. We were talking earlier about yesterday's Trump rally from hell at Madison Square Garden. So
that's Anna Navarro. She somehow removed one of her many chins, and she's still doing this shit. The rally from hell. Was that the rally from hell? It must have been hell. I guess hell in the sense that if you are of hell, to be sprinkled with holy water must be like taking 1,000 lashes. So it must have been hellish for somebody like Anna Navarro and her still many, many chins.
So what did you make of it?
Well, I think it was everything that you need to know about Donald Trump in one.
It was fun. It was funny. Everybody had a good time. There, all the people that we said would never show up did. It was just it's everything you need to know.
Weird white nationalist Nazi type rally, and of course,
they are a laugh riot. Seriously, and the fact that she made herself cry during this. Let me get to it because I can't stand this hawk face woman. Let's see here. She starts crying here.
This is called normalization. Yes. Yeah. This is the descent into fascism if we so choose. Normalizing January 6th, it's a day of love. It's a day of love. I'll say it again and again and again. Normalizing enemy from within. I'll say it again and again. I'll say it again and again until you get tired of it, until it's not so funny anymore, or you think he doesn't mean it until you realize he does mean it and it's too late.
But you are the enemy, Mika. And here's the thing. We hope he means it. Everybody hopes that he means it. I mean, this is just an incredible act that's only getting worse and worse. So there used to be a little bit of a, can you believe it? They're actually saying this. Now it's every day, and it's new variations of it. They're just spinning out. They're chasing their own tail. I mean, it's an awful thing to see. It's almost like watching a dog with rabies. You know? You ever see an animal with rabies that's like toward the end and they're just disoriented and they're out and they're just jittering, and you can just tell it's just they're not having a good time. And somebody needs to put them out of their misery. Figuratively, obviously. But their misery is only going to be heightened because they're not going to get arrested. But they're going to have to come up with a reason. Let's say this all goes Trump's way. They're going to have to come up with a reason why in 4 years everybody is not in detention camps. Just like they have to come up with a reason why they had. Why did you go out there and say that Mitt Romney was Hitler? Everybody can't be Hitler. I guess everybody is. All right, let's take another call. 904, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank.
Who's
What's up,
this?
man? This is GDSOB.
What's up, GD? How you been?
Nah, brother. Chilling, man. I've been blessed. How are you?
Oh, I'm just working. It's a little bit of a detour.
Working your
tonight.
ass off.
Yeah, I guess so. A little bit of a detour tonight, but having a good time, taking a little bit extra calls.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cool. Yeah, man. I just want to say it's been a pleasure watching your show, dude. I usually don't miss it. If I do miss it at night, I'll catch it the next day or later on in the afternoon or something like that. But yeah, man.
Well, you've been watching for almost 10 years now.
It seems like that for sure.
It's been crazy. I mean, I mark the time with this show that there's like a watershed moment in 2015 when I moved in here from the other studio. When we went into this new studio from the other studio, that is a way to mark the time because we didn't really start even using YouTube streaming in pairing with Ustream and all the other things that we were doing for the first 10 years or however many it was. We didn't even start doing that until we got here. And it was really 2016 that I started putting YouTube into the mix. And that was the first jump off point. That was before anything else. And that's where I met people like you. And so, now it's 2024. We're 8 years forward. It's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you've been around to stick around and grow your channel into other venues such as Tild and Foxhole, which I enjoy it over there too. And all your hard work's paying off, and I really enjoyed the episode where you had the shortwave radio guy on, and you're trying to get into that little foray there.
Yes. Yeah, I got my radio, so at least I'll become a shortwave radio listener soon. But as far as being able to get out there, I don't see how it's not very practical for me to build my own station right now. But I would love to in the future at least get a sponsor for this show to be on WBCQ maybe at least one night a week, because it would be a pretty hefty sum for me to be on every night of the week, every month. Yeah,
true.
But yeah, absolutely.
Once a week would be cool.
It would be. So.
Yeah, and as far as this whole election crazy stuff going on, I enjoyed watching your march up to that Nazi party yesterday. It's a shame you didn't get in. I think it's going to be the whole, too big to rig. I think traditionally blue states are going to flip red, and the left is going to collectively lose their shit. So.
Well,
We'll
hey,
see.
man, I never. It's not the first party I ever had a trouble getting into. So it doesn't matter. It's just one of those things. But it would be nice because this time, well, I mean, it's Monday. Today, this time next week, we'll have our last. And thanks for the call, GD. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you, brother. You have a blessed night, and God bless your family, and your beautiful, beautiful wife, and your beautiful baby, Aurora.
Thank you. Well, she's not a baby anymore. I'm so sorry to report she is all arms and legs, and she wrestles. We get into she's getting harder and harder to pin down, but it's a lot of fun, and we'll see where it goes. Hey, listen, call in a lot more. It was great to hear from you again.
Oh yeah, ci sentiamo subito.
There
Ciao,
you go.
Fra.
Ciao, ciao. There you go. What the hell? Yeah. Oh shit! I was just gonna say something. A week from tonight, we're gonna have Rich on. We're going to be getting our last bits of polling from Rich Barris by November 4th. And that's it, man. That's it. Oh, it's going to be really interesting. What else can be said? 765, go ahead.
Hey, Frank, it's a Sentinel.
Hello, Sentinel. What's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to congratulate you for attempting to go to Madison Square Garden.
It was a valiant attempt.
It was a valiant attempt. You know, that reminds me in 2016, DJT came to our town and was supporting some of our congressional folks, and we stood in line from 10 a.m. till 4 o'clock in the afternoon before they started letting people in, and we had a nice rally we went to. It was great. But I just wanted to say 177 dials to call you this evening to try to win the 47. Not disappointed, happy that the gentleman got it. But I also wanted to say today, Molly and I voted because we could. And on a week from tomorrow, I'll be working a poll as a supervising judge for our county in 2 precincts on the west side of town. And I'm pretty excited about that. And while we were there, our local TV station asked us to if we would be willing to talk to them. They had a question. So we said yes. And they asked if we had any stress about this election this year. And I said, no, I'm here today voting. And the only stress I have is I think it's going to be high turnout on election day. And I'll be working the poll, and I'll be with new people. And that'll just be a little bit of stress. But for the most part, I'm happy and confident and looking forward to the future. And then Molly gave her thing, and she said, every 4 years they tell us it's an existential threat at the end of the world, but we're still here after 276 years, so I think we're going to live through this. So they did not use us on the 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news, so we'll check it out at 10 to see if they see if we comply with the political science professor from who the fuck, whatever they found this guy.
I know.
And put us on there as following his advice about not being on social media too much, because that just might depress you.
Find me somebody who's scared, damn it. These people are too calming.
Oh, they found one 35 to 40-year woman who said, I'm scared someone might die like last time.
They're going to find somebody. They're going to find somebody. Listen, you know what they do, especially anywhere around this area, or whatever the hell the storm comes in. If you get bad winter weather, you know what the news does. Oh, man, there's a snowstorm coming. Let's do nonstop disaster prepping for the 3 inches of snow that's coming. They will run that nonstop.
Do you have water?
Exactly.
Do you have food?
Exactly.
Do you have heat? Do you have an electric blanket? Do you have extra layers?
Exactly. Anybody who knows what they do over 3 inches of snow, if you think that they're not going to just milk an election, oh, God, it's just it's one of those things. Well, thank you for being calm out there, my friend, and thanks for conveying that on the show tonight.
Hey, have a great day. Thank you.
Okay.
Happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween to you. Bye, Molly. Yeah, that's a good one. Calm. Well, listen, like I said, so many things. I'll be calm in about a week. I feel it. I feel it. I mean, I don't walk around wringing my hands or anything like that, but I'm working through it. There's a lot here, especially because my job is contingent on so much. There's always a lot of game planning and, strategy and how do we turn this into something that's fun? And, how do we take this piece of nightmare and turn it into something that could be actually a walk in the park? Did you hear about the Beyonce gate? You want to talk about having to force it. This is something else. They got Beyonce. They don't know if they're just lying to people or if they didn't know that there was going to be we're down in Houston. Listen to this. With Trump visiting Texas on Friday for a sit-down with Joe Rogan, Kamala needed to make a splash. The play was bring Beyonce to endorse her in Houston, and the news was spread, but it was going to be more than just an endorsement, was it? People were wondering, is this going to be more than just is she going to be able to sing? Everybody wanted to know if Beyonce was going to sing. Maybe, maybe not, but the media decided that the performance was in the cards. And this guy, New Rebel Records, put out the screenshot of a lot of the different types of reporting that was going on. Beyonce expected to perform Freedom at Kamala Harris rally in Houston. Harris unleashes the star power of Beyonce. That's it. Was it going to be a performance? We don't know. But it's very, very important to them for some reason. And she didn't perform. She walked out. She spoke for about 3 to 6 minutes or something, got about $10 million in pay. And when she left, so did a long, unending stream of people who thought that they were going to a free Beyonce concert. And there's actually quite a few boos over there, too. Listen to this when Kamala took the stage. Oh, wait a second. That's not the right one. That's not the right clip. That was that's not the right clip. I think that was a protester or some kind of a troll or whatever. Anyway, everybody was wondering what the hell this was all about. And I had this here, evidence here. Look at this. Listen to her repeating this. Who is this? I forgot that this woman is. But look at the way that they hype this up with Beyonce, like she is Santa Claus at the end of a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. It truly is something to behold.
Can I say this?
Well, wait. Let's couch it in rumors and rumbling.
Okay, let's just say. So I mean, that's out there. The Beyonce talk.
You have to stay tuned, but I have it on really good word. The Beehive is buzzing right now because the preparation for the Beehive, it has to start early. Sources come from backstage. That's all I'll tell you.
Okay.
TMZ and The Hill reporting that she will indeed be making a surprise performance on stage here.
Congressman was just dancing along, and he's excited that he's hearing rumors, which a donor confirmed to me, that she's also hearing that Beyonce is en route president of all things.
That's it. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming to town. Oh, it's so fucking... I can't wait till it's all over. Really can't. Here's a good one for you, though. This is from Jash Delani on Twitter, old books guy. I like this one about the Overton window. And I'd like to throw this out there as part of the wrap-up for tonight's show. It's about 8:40 right now. We're going to get off a little bit early, only because this is a lot of just winging it, because we lost our guest for the evening with just about an hour left. So I think we did good for what it was, and here you have it. This is Joe Overton. You might know about the Overton window. Well, now you know Joe. The famous Overton window is named after him. It's the best mental model for understanding how political change actually happens. And here's a thread. Overton was a libertarian political scientist in the 1990s while raising funds for right-wing think tank Mackinac Center. He kept meeting donors who didn't understand what think tanks actually do. He coined a new concept to solve the problem. Window of political possibilities. Okay? The window of political possibilities. And there's the Overton window. Do you have what is unthinkable, what is radical, what is acceptable, sensible, popular, and what is currently policy? and then you start seeing it fade out to the other side here too. It's actually really nicely articulated how we live every day. Overton argued that politicians are not leaders but followers. Since they want to get reelected, they'll only turn those proposals into policy, which already have some public appeal. A totally unpopular idea? Political suicide, outside the window of political possibilities. Overton argued that a think tank's job is not to convince politicians but their voters. A great think tank will, using research, writing, films, and advocacy, slide the window of political possibilities until their preferred proposals go from unthinkable to acceptable. This is why they capture cultural institutions. This is why they get movie houses, the production studios, the colleges, the media. You can't expect politicians to not respond to public will. Even Napoleon said, quote, "Public opinion is the thermometer. A monarch should constantly consult," end quote. But what you can do is persuade, nudge, seduce, and pull the public over to your side. This is why culture wars matter. The best way to boil a frog is slowly, and the best way to turn an unthinkable idea into a popular law is not via the parliament, but the public square. Politics is downstream of a song lyrics, of viral tweets, movie plots, museum exhibitions. First normalize and then legalize. In 2003, Joe Overton tragically crashed his one-seat aircraft and died. He was only 43. His think tank colleague, Joseph Lehman, named the window of political possibilities renamed it the Overton window. The rest is history. Moldbug writes, quote, "Cthulhu only swims left. That is, with local variations. The Overton window in a modern political only shifts leftward. She, her pronouns, for example." Okay, everybody putting their pronouns out there. She, her pronouns went from a Tumblr micro trend to official Kamala Harris speeches in less than 10 years. Is Moldbug right? And yes, this was all Tumblr. This was all Tumblr. Okay, that was something where around 2014, 2015, I remember it again because we were in the old studio and I was spending a lot more time on Tumblr back then. I still have a Tumblr because I follow a lot of great blogs. There's good history there. There's a lot of cool stuff, but a lot of crazy. And it was definitely a think tank for what is now crazy identitarian trends in the culture. I mean, it was a major contributor anyway. I remember being able to take some of those earlier lists of there was about 25 to 40 gender identities. And I remember being able to go through them on air and say, look what was just published. And there's new ones added to this every day. It was getting added to all types of indexes and stuff like that. It was all on Tumblr. He, him, she, her. They started getting into all of it. And the fact that it started there, and now you have a vice president, so-called vice president of the United States, pronouncing and putting out their pronouns before meetings and stuff like that to try to show how hip and cool and sensitive they are. It's not sensitive. It's just crazy Tumblrina crap. But it works. It definitely works. It definitely does. Here we go, though. 2024 is proof that with the right combination of free speech, ungovernable billionaires, and feisty schizo edits, Cthulhu can actually swim right. Today's sacred truism is the butt of today's joke. Much that was revered in 2018 is mocked now in 2024. The Overton window has shifted right. It has. And that's what I want to leave everybody with tonight. When people online say, just be normal, bro, they're saying, just be inside the Overton window, bro. That is where most people are ever going to be, inside the Overton window. The window itself can never be destroyed. People need psychic orientation. Too much lights, blinds. So there are decades when the Overton window slides by micrometers. There are weeks when it slides by a mile. Post well, friends, for you too can slide the window. And that's where it gets to where we are. There are people out there who do the sliding, but there's a lot of people who just do the following. Politicians are the same thing. And even people in your life. I mean, for example, Anthony and I were talking about this before I went live tonight. We were out in the hallway, and he was cleaning the cat's bowl and all that shit, and we were just talking a little bit. he's asking me about what was going on yesterday and all of the different headlines that he's seen covering what happened at Madison Square Garden. That it all had, it was described in crazy ways. It was a crazy, what was it? Unhinged, Nazi-esque. And we were just laughing about it. And I think everybody's laughing. That's the mockery here. The fact that Mika Brzezinski had to go on The View to make herself cry tears. Nobody cares anymore. And the reason why I'm saying this is because also he was talking about a friend of ours who just a few years ago we got into, not a fight, but we were definitely in a little bit of like, I couldn't believe what he was saying about Joe Biden being, good for anything. I wasn't expecting him to be like, hey, Trump. I'm never out there like stumping for Trump or anything like that. But when I hear somebody talk about people like Joe Biden in like these admirable ways, I say, wow, are you serious? And then, of course, they go out and they get all the shots. And I'm like, dude. So there's definitely split on a lot of things. And then suddenly he said, who's been liking a lot of Trump's posts all of a sudden? Our friend. And maybe he found his way in there through RFK or whatever the hell it is. But suddenly, and these are people who are not moving the window. These are people who start walking to realign themselves inside of the window when everybody else moves it. When somebody else does a little bit of pushing. When somebody else puts out a meme that breaks the monotony of the way they think. That's the real thing here. It's the meme magic. It's the art. It's the mockery. It's the jokes. It's the talk shows. It's all of that stuff. We're the ones that we're pushing the Overton window back toward the right, back toward sanity. Okay? Where it stops, we don't know, but we have to get away from that ledge. And that's the whole thing here. As it moves away, Mika Brzezinski and all her friends don't know what to do other than to cry and scream Hitler louder. And it only makes them look even more laughable. It's a really wonderful time to be in. Now, we're not out of the woods. We're not out of the weeds. There's a lot still to be done and a lot still to be lived through. But just remember, the holidays are coming. You got to take care of your spirit. You got to take care of your family. And take care of your stomach, too. Buy another bottle of brioche. You might need it. But other than that, there's plenty to laugh at. There's plenty to be happy about. And, yeah, that's all I have for you tonight at 8:45. All right. Here's one more thing. One more thing, since it's positive. This is from Nick Shirley. 1 minute, 13 seconds, and a mind was changed, he says. Listen to this.
Who are you guys going to be voting for?
I'm going for Kamala Harris.
What about you?
Trump.
Okay, so you want to vote for Donald Trump. She wants to vote for Kamala Harris. What makes you want to vote for Kamala Harris?
Because she'll be the first Black female president, and want to give her a chance. I think she can do it.
But when she says that, I want to give her a chance because she'll be the first female black president.
Yeah, I like that part, but our country doesn't need it just because she's the first of the first. We need somebody that's been in there and knows what they're doing. He's not a Pinocchio. Nobody's pulling the strings for him. He's more of a Geppetto. He says what he wants to do and does what he wants to do. That's why I like Trump. Mm-hmm. And he's done more help for the community that I was raised up in. He's helped us with even the stimulus packages and all that. So that's why I'm more with Trump.
Okay, cool. And so it is a critical time right now. We have a lot of things going on in the world. We got World War III is on the brink. Right. And the border is a mess, and inflation is all-time high. Do you think that having a first female black president is the most important thing for America right now?
When you say that, I don't think so. I think Trump will get the job done, because that's what he was working on when he was in there last time.
Who are you guys going to...
I'm pretty sure Nick did not set up that interaction. I'm sure that's not a setup. I'm pretty sure that that's authentic. Now, it's not that deep. It's not that deep for some people. That's just the way it is. It's just not that deep for some people. But you see, this is the whole thing. This is why they want all civil communication severed. This is why they scream ridiculously about fascism and Hitler, because we are so close to unifying on this. It's too much for them to bear. It really is. So plenty to rest your hat on, my friends. And tomorrow is going to be another good one. We have a great guest. I'll be live from Studio B probably for the rest of the week. No. Probably tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon, if there even is I don't know. I mean, the Yankees might get swept. So I will see what the hell happens with that, and I may not even be going to Game 5. So, but if there is a Game 5 and we do go, then I'll be doing a Wednesday show about midday, and then Friday we'll be back here in studio. That'll be a good one, November 1st. See if Matt shows up for that, and I hope you guys are here tomorrow night, 7:00. Thank you for hanging out tonight. I had fun with the giveaways and taking the calls and all that. It wasn't the show that I planned, but I'm sure we'll have something nice and tight and snappy tomorrow as well. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
And Esther G. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Have a good night.